Hi there everybody, it's Rarity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you so much for joining me for another card making video. This is our Inspire Create Challenge design team make for a theme of wedding or anniversary. Okay, so if you want to pop along to the description of this video, there'll be a link there for the Inspire Create Challenge blog. And you'll be able to see there all the design team makes and read a bit more about them in their blogs too. And then there is the lovely little linky tool there. You can participate in that challenge, and we'll pick out a winner each time. So do check that out. It'd be lovely to see what you make. So wedding and anniversary. So I'm going to go with, we're presenting a beautiful bunch of flowers that I'm going to create today. I'm going to use the painted lavender set to do that. So I think when we have a set that's billed as a lavender set, you kind of immediately go to those purples and things to create. But doing them in the different colours doesn't mean they have to look like lavender. They can look like other things too. Okay, so I'm going to build a bunch of flowers with the painted lavender stamps and coordinating dies, and then for the sentiment, the Layers of Beauty has a lovely happy anniversary sentiment in it, so we're going to borrow that from that set for the theme. So loads of die cutting to do to make this lovely dimensional bouquet of flowers. Okay, we're using a mixture of colours, so I wanted to go with like the lovely pinks here, but throw in something a little off-piste. So I brought in the that's actually petal pink, that is, okay, with the new Pretty in Pink in the background there, which is a lovely bright pink, and then I've got Bubble Bath at the front, and then used garden green for the foliage and the layering, and then we've embossed the sentiment in gold, okay, and just use some little gold gems there to set that off. So we're going to do a variation of this. As always, I like to try and mix up some of the colours that we're using, give you some different ideas, because you may not like the look of this one, but you might like it in a different colourway, and then of course you can take it away and do whatever you like. Okay, so these are merely serving suggestions that we're presenting to you with these cards. So I've got a white card base there ready to go. I've got my layer of garden green, which is just a bit bigger than this. So this is 3.5 by 5 1/4. Really liking this size of layer at the moment. It's just a nice layer size that will give you a bit of room around the outside to have layers and colour without being too over the top. So we're just going to line it up inside this embossing folder. Okay, this is one of the new embossing folders. It's called Eyelet. Okay, so I'm just lining that up so it looks like the pattern's reasonably well aligned. Okay, and we're going to just run that through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss. So we're going to get this lovely background. Okay, this is a 3D embossing folder, so just look out for the instructions on the platform itself as to what sandwich you need. Okay, so I've actually used this dark grey plate and the base plate exactly as it says on the instructions there. They're right there in front of you, and it's really, really easy to use. Okay, so we'll just pop that away. Okay, and then we're going to just reassemble my plates ready to do some die cutting. So I'm going to pop in my number 2 plate and have a cutting plate ready to go as well. That's the number 3 clear plate. Okay, so when we open our folder, we'll get this lovely textured panel that we can pop in. Okay, looks nice on the other side as well. Okay, so you don't have to always use the embossed side. If you could use the debossed side as well. Okay, so that's going to be ready to go. We can lay that up right now. I think the deboss side on this one is quite flat, so I can get away with my stamping seal on this one. So we'll get that layered up and then it's ready to go. So when you layer that up, you might find that the embossing has slightly altered the dimensions by fractions. So if you're finding that it's not quite lining up the way you expected it, it could be because of that. Okay, so that panel's ready to go. So we'll just pop that to one side for a moment. Okay, I've already done some of the die cutting ahead of time because you do not want to hear me and see me go through this lots and lots of times. So I've already stamped the stems. Okay, so it's a single die that cuts this, which looks great, but because of the number of flowers that I'm kind of trying to build together, I've actually cut several of these to make it look like there's a much bigger bouquet, and we're going to layer those together to fill that out a little bit. So we've already got 3 of those ready to go, and I'm going to go with more sort of blues and purples for the bouquet. Okay, so I've brought in some balmy blue, some azure afternoon, and some highland heather. So that's my contrast colour, the one that I'm going to throw in to kind of liven it all up a little bit. But we just need a couple more pieces. So I need another balmy blue, and I'm going to cut another azure afternoon piece. So we're just going to grab some scraps of cardstock. Well, what did I do with that? So because these are really small, we can easily use up some of our little bits and pieces in our scrap bin. So let's just pull out those, and we'll grab our azure afternoon and our balmy blue there. Okay, and we can light tap in on the ink pad and get that popped onto there. Really nice pale blue, balmy blue. And then this other one we can do with the azure afternoon, which is lovely and bright. Okay, so we can pop that in there. Isn't that gorgeous? Get those stamps wiped off. And then we can just get our dies and line these up over the top and run those through, and then we'll have everything that we need to start putting our bouquet together. The only element we haven't got right now is the sentiment. So, sorry, just concentrating while I'm lining that up. So we'll get those run through. Okay. So just quickly. So you can do obviously multiple shapes at a time, just make sure they don't overlap each other, so they don't cut into each other, and you'll be able to run through these. So I had, several of those, so instead of like 8 passes it became 4, so there's scope to cut down the number of passes you do on the machine. So just think about that. Okay, now to help me construct this, I've actually just punched out a couple of circles, and I'm going to grab a silicone sheet as well, just to help, because I just don't want glue to go everywhere basically. I'm going to use the circles to help me just build this up. Okay, so the first thing first, we'll get these stems all sorted out. Okay, so I'm going to pop, and I'm going to use just the stamping seal for this. Okay, because it's quick, and you don't have to wait for any drying time or anything like that. Okay, and I'm just going to use that circle, and I'm going to pop those underneath there like that, like that, so that they, like I say, they build up that set of stems like so, because we're going to end up with a lot of bulk in this sort of joined up area here. Okay, the balmy blue elements are kind of going to be tucked into the background and then in the foreground to give the bouquet a little bit of fullness and everything. So we're going to pop, what I'll do is I'll put the tape over the circle like this. Okay, so these two are going to sit at the back and kind of fill out the bouquet like so. Okay, so I've got a spare circle in case I feel like I need another layer to sort of help me construct everything. Okay, and then the background colour is going to be the Azure Afternoon, so let's pull out those. Now I've ended up with 4 of these, but I only used 3 on the other one. That's okay, we can still do that. So these ones are going to sit higher so that we can see all the colours. So I'm going to pop that one in, and you might find that you need to add some more tape as this gets a bit full. Okay. So we don't want to be covering up all this balmy blue. Okay, but it really starts to fill out quite nicely. But like I say, all this is going to start getting rather bulky. Okay, so you can secure a bit more tape when you're confident that you know that nothing's going to sort of get in the way. Okay, so at this point you might feel like you want to put another circle on just to help you build that up a little bit further, and adds another bit of dimension to the mix. This is totally optional, it's just another way of helping you construct this and keeping things contained. Okay, and help seal everything together. Okay, so now we want those Highland Heather portions to go in. So I'm going to put these lower down so that we've got that sort of change in depth and stuff. But of course we want that circle to be covered. Okay, so that's mostly hidden now. And now we can just pop in these other little bits, okay, which will cover that entirely. Okay, so just pop in a bit on there. So I'm going to bring that nice all the way down now to cover up all of that. And it's got a whole heap of depth, but there's loads of bulk there, okay, loads of bulk. But when we put all the sentiment and stuff on, it's all going to be held in place beautifully. Okay, I'm going to flip that over and prepare this for gluing down onto the card, which I am going to do with dimensionals. Okay, which is just going to, you know, really give it that nice wow coming off the back there. Okay, so just a few just to help keep that secure. I might put one there as well actually, so there'll be enough things to grab all of that and make sure that that stays in place. Okay, so that's going to look really beautiful on there now. See how that just automatically just ends up popping. Now on this card I actually popped a little halo of yellow on there again, just to bring in another shade there, which I just used some residual ink on a brush and just added a little bit here. So you can do that as well if you want to. I'm going to use pink in this case, but just to offset that blue a little bit. Another contrast contrast, kind of in this sort of oval kind of heart shape, which you probably can't even see on the camera, but in real life it's there, but doesn't detract from the rest of the card at all. Okay, so those elements are all ready. We just need to do our sentiment now. So this one we did in gold, and now I'm going to do this one in silver. We've got cooler colours with the blues and the purples, so I think the silver would look really, really pretty. Okay, so we can pop that to one side. Okay, and I can just use this scrap of cardstock, and we'll get out all our stuff to do our heat embossing. So scrubbing out the Additions toolkit. So we'll just dust that with this anti-static powder. Just wipe away that excess, like so. And then we'll be using this Versamark clear sticky ink, which will grab that powder for us. I'm going to make sure that's really well inked. You've only really got one go to get this right, so you want to make sure you get loads of ink on there. And we're going to be fussy cutting this out, which is why I'm only using a scrap of cardstock. Okay, nice firm pressure. Okay, and then I'm going to grab that with my little tweezers here, and we'll now tip on some silver embossing powder. Like so. I haven't quite got the grip right on that, so let's just make sure that that's all nice. You might find that a couple of additions of powder helps, just to make sure it's all covered. And you can use this brush to clean away any little specks that might fall outside the stamping, but because we're fussy cutting it, it doesn't matter too much, but you can do that if you want to. Okay, so at the moment that's very matte, okay, and it won't go shiny until we heat it up. Okay, so we'll use this lovely tray to help us funnel that back into the container, and you can use your little brush to help with that too. Okay, so let's get that lid back on and out of harm's way. Okay, and then we need to heat emboss this powder. We need to heat it up. Okay, so I'm going to use my heat tool, and I'm going to heat this from the back. Try and keep it in shot. So the tool's quite loud, so just bear that in mind. So you might want to turn down the volume while I do this. Okay, but you'll see I'll heat from the back, and you might see that go glossy. Okay. Okay, so there we go, all nice and shiny now. Okay, so I don't know whether you were able to see that had that turn as I was heating it. Okay, just make sure all that's off. And like I say, we're going to do a little bit of fussy cutting. Okay, which seems really daunting and stuff, but Just take your time, go around it. You don't have to fussy cut it. You can use dies, punches, whatever you like to cut this if you don't fancy doing any fussy cutting. However, I think it looks really cute when you do this. We do have some other stamp and die bundles that do cut sentiments. I think it's Wonderful Thoughts, I think it's called, which is nice. So that's an option that you can look at. Okay, but obviously you need to just make sure it's got the sentiment you want in it. So we've got this from the Layers of Beauty set, and if you've never seen fussy cutting before, so by fussy cutting we just mean freehand cutting out things. Okay, so I'm kind of going round, leaving a little bit of a white border, but also notice, especially there, I'm twisting the paper rather than trying to twist the blade of the scissors. And if you sort of squeeze the blades together as they twizzle, you should get a nice smooth cut. And try and use the blades, you know, towards the hinge there rather than at the edge. You don't want to be snipping at it. That's how you get jaggedy edges. So just gently twisting. Take your time. It's a bit fiddly when you get to the end, so there's less to hold on to, but just do it nice and slow. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, you're at the end and you've done it. Okay, so those paper snips are super sharp, really great for this kind of thing. You might find it's bent a little bit, so just use a bone folder pen, whatever, handle of your scissors, just to sort of flatten that back out again. And in fact, in this case, we probably want it to be a bit domed the other way, so it wraps around the bulk of that those bouquet stems that we've got going on. Okay, all right. So to help us with that and compensate for that, I'm going to use a couple of little dimensionals as well to help me. Okay, so let's get this popped together. So we'll get this adhered to our card base, just using a white card base. Okay, let's get that lined up. Nice sharp crease will help it to stand. And we can take off these dimensionals. So there should be enough stuff on there to help everything stick together. Okay, some dabs of glue on the bottom of these is going to help those stick to that textured surface. Okay, so we'll just pop that into place like so. And then if you feel like anything needs more security, then you can put some glue dots underneath or something like that, just to help that. I'm going to grab some mini dimensionals now and pop those in kind of along this bottom portion here. Press them with those tweezers, which means the little edges will curl up a little bit, which means they'll be really easy to take off. And again, a dab or two of glue, just going to make that really nice and strong. And you might just want to put little dabs on the cardstock as well, so where it grabs there's something for it to stick to. Okay, so that's going to be secured like so, and again that's going to help everything else as well. Okay, and then you just want something nice to embellish it with. Now I've got these little pearls. They are retired ones, but you know, just raid your stash, just use whatever you've got, just to bling that up. But I wanted something that was silver and gold for these projects, so I knew I still had some of those, so I'm just going to use some of those up. Okay, so there we go. That is the finished article for this video, with blues and purples brought together with the green and the foliage. Okay, I could have put some sprigs in there and all sorts of things. Okay, here's the pink version. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and it's given you another way to use this. I think I'd love to see a nice big bouquet of flowers turn up. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed that. Do check out the challenge, participate if you want to, by using the link in the corresponding blog post. That's it's all in the description. Okay, please do like, share, comment, etc. Really helps build the channel. And in the meantime, I hope you stay safe, take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.